Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale Series. One thing that occurred to me as I was watching back my footage is Peter Quill, Star-Lord, having a time scanner at the beginning of the game and it just not being mentioned or explained as to where he got it or showing us why he deserved to own it or anything like that is a real cop-out. It basically implies that Peter Quill can't just imagine what happened in the past based on current context clues, or that they couldn't have just shown or written the story in a different way. Effectively, gameplay mechanic wise, it just is yet another button that you need to press while walking around very empty areas. I would have to assume that if we're starting with a time scanner, that at some point the time scanner might be used in some way with the Eternity Forge. But yeah, we should probably just jump into episode 3, More Than a Feeling. That's yet another title of a famous song that I suspect they didn't actually have the budget to license. The Guardian's fate takes a turn for the strange as a mysterious new ally appears, providing more questions than answers. Meanwhile, Gamora must decide if blood is thicker than metal when she is forced to deal with a figure from her past, which almost certainly means the side story of episode 3 is going to be Gamora and Nebula fighting over Tarval. Let's hit start or hit A, and then we'll get a previously on. Now, on this previously on, in most Telltale games, they would make reference to lines of dialogue you picked or choices you made, but honestly, I don't think that this game is even really bothering with that, which kind of makes this barely even a Telltale game. And I still fully believe that throwing the Eternity engine in the sun would be the right solution here.
You don't know a lot about me, but before I met you guys, there was someone.
I imagine this is going to be the entirety of Rocket's story, and it may get referenced.
So gone
I decided to run
maybe with that relic
in the last
I can
episode.
Make her ungone.
I know you've got a lot on your mind, but that kid you fought, maybe he does too. Promise me in the future you'll use your words instead of your fists.
I will, Mom. I promise.
I guess I made that promise in episode 1.
Thank you, baby.
But I definitely am not thinking about it.
The Eternity Forge resides here, pending such time as it can be wielded responsibly.
Whose
Until
definition
then,
of responsibly?
She shall remain entombed across the galaxy.
Come find me, Peter. I'll be waiting for you.
Now I think they're about to unlock an ancient evil, but who knows? The second part is way more of a lie as far as the story being tailored to how you play. The story does not change at all if you play well or very good or very bad. It only
there, Peter.
slightly reacts to your decisions, but the way it reacts is in the exact same style regardless of which decision you make. You say a line of dialogue, somebody will remember that and say some line of dialogue back. That's not tailored in my book. Tailored would mean something closer to, if you say one sentence and then stop talking, then the other people will stop talking too, and you'll just have less dialogue overall.
I got it, Mom.
Or if you go through
Thanks,
all the
baby.
lines of dialogue that you have as options, you get very verbose
Another headache?
friends that are talking to you.
Just a little one. Stop worrying. It's fine. Just took me by surprise.
I
Now,
wish I could
it
help.
seems like either
I
this
know
is the
you
exact
do.
same day, or
Some
they were
things,
just too
Peter.
lazy to put different
They're not
outfits on
yours
these
to
characters.
control. I better get that prescription before the pharmacy closes. Stay out of trouble till I get back, okay? Be good. I know that's not always easy for you.
I'll be a perfect little angel. Like always.
I better hurry back then. I'll be back soon.
So it seems like the
Hey,
game
Pete.
desperately
Hey, Mr. Pinkle.
wants to
Here to
set
get that mixtape copy?
some of these
Yeah.
scenes on Earth.
Sure is a nice thing
which
to
is
do for your mom.
way too far
How's she doing anyway?
away from the rest of the story. So, yeah,
She's not doing so well.
I'm sorry.
you have
to
a
hear
whole
that.
bunch of fake posters
Well, I'm
in the
sure this is
background
gonna
that they
make her
probably
feel a
spent too
lot
much
better.
time on.
Music's got some powerful mojo. Both sides? Come back in about an hour, and it'll be ready.
That means he's basically
Hey, Edie,
copying it at a 1-to-1 speed.
you make that mix for your boyfriend?
Let's see, let's just not respond to this guy.
What's the matter? Too scared to talk? Huh? Afraid I'm gonna break it again?
You afraid I'm gonna hit you again?
Listen to you.
See,
Pretending you got
even if I say
balls.
nothing,
Hey,
that's a great
how's that
example of
lip
not
doing?
tailoring the gameplay. If I
Give me
say
that.
nothing, then all of a sudden he forces me to,
What are you doing here anyway?
the game
You don't
forces him to
have
say
money.
something anyways.
Everyone in town's talking about it. Your mom can't even pay her medical bills. She's been going door to door asking for help like some pathetic loser. She's probably off looking for change in the sewers right now. Yeah, maybe she'll get lucky and find a quarter.
Come on. Let's not do this, man.
Do what? We're just talking. You gonna cry now? Huh?
So use my fists
What are
or
you gonna
use
do
my
about
words is a decision. Obviously, we promised to use our words, so let's use our
You
words.
done yet? Elephant ears? You must get great reception with those things.
Nah, I'm not done. But your mom? She sure is. My dad goes drinking with her doctor. Told him everything. Guess she didn't feel like it was important enough to tell you. Oh, check it out. Dead woman walking. What's the point? Drugs ain't gonna help. My dad says you're gonna die anyway.
Let's see.
My mom's gonna be fine. She just needs the right medicine.
Get her some poison. At least then she won't be wasting money trying to get better.
Honestly, I would expect that to happen more often
My
instead of
dad's gonna...
Out!
in this time frame. Like you're talking 80s,
You kept your promise.
70s.
You didn't fight that jerk. I'm proud of
It,
you, Peter.
it wouldn't be out of line if she
Even
dragged
though
him by
I
his
didn't
ears
set a
out
very good example.
into the street and then literally beat him
Things
for a
he
while.
said.
And his parents and other parents would not
Let my
have a problem with
emotions
that
get the
in a
better
lot
of
of
me.
cases. Depending on the area, depending
I'm
on
sorry
the
you heard that.
time.
No, Peter. It's okay.
He said you were dying, Mom. Is that true?
Find me, please. You're so close, Peter.
So we got an achievement for that scene, doing basically nothing.
How did I get home?
There is some logic I can certainly follow as far as why Peter Quill and Star-Lord doesn't go back to Earth or ever spend any time there, or much time there. If you have access to the whole galaxy, Earth probably is fairly boring. Doesn't have technology, it doesn't have aliens in comparison, doesn't have adventure.
Gamora?
Gamora!
So this seems to me like this might be either one of these. Peter Quill is hallucinating and thinks he's in a forest, or or everybody is hallucinating and everybody is fighting their internal demons.
Are you okay? 'Cause this temple is really messing with my head.
And
Hello,
it had me
Gamora.
push left stick to walk forward, then it took control away.
Oh, hey, Gamora!
Come on, Nebula.
What are you doing?
You can do better than that.
Let's see. And here's an interesting case where she has nothing else to say, so the timer
Peter,
feels
right.
different.
A whole lot, and definitely do not want to kill. Come on, this isn't fair. I don't have a sword.
Now we're just immediately back into way too many quick time event swipes.
Hey, wait, Gamora.
Now with way too many button presses. One is too many in my book.
Focus, Nebula.
So it
You
probably
need
is
to
the
be aware
case
of everything around
that the
you.
temple is protected
Perception's
by
just
making
as
everybody
important
fight their
as strength
demons.
and speed.
None of them are important when I'm stuck here. I want to use what
Although,
you've taught me
weirdly,
somewhere outside of this room.
This is another great
I'm sick of
example.
just doing the same thing over and over, every single day.
I know you think you want this.
Nebula
Once
and
you've taken
Gamora
life,
were supposed to be on the
There's
ship,
no going back. Thanos
and
will
that was
make
my
you
choice
kill
in the last
again
episode.
And again,
and they
pretty
seem to
soon
have
that's
just
all you'll
completely
be.
forgotten about that.
a murderer.
And
At least I'd be something.
that does highlight a problem that increasingly happens with Telltale games, is that a lot of the stories were written in such a way that they were expecting you to have a longer
like you've
break
lost your touch.
between each episode.
Hardly.
Whereas the episodic nature of these releases almost certainly hurt their sales in the ever important launch window, because most players probably by
actually
this
a little
point would have
impressive.
waited until
Just a
all the
little.
episodes were released, which does not look good on the accounting books. We definitely are at a point of way too much QuickTime events here.
I can't. Gamora, you're hurting me.
Let her win, beat Nebula. Let's just say Nebula at that time would have beat her. Plus, she had already said Thanos won't let them stop until
Father.
blood is drawn. Although, inherently,
Nebula, you have grown so much.
Father,
Nebula
You
is
may yet be the greatest assassin in
experimented
the
on
galaxy.
and turned into a
Don't
cyborg
you agree, Gamora?
pretty much for every time she fails in a fight. Let's see.
I do. She's come a long way.
What a pleasant surprise. Perhaps being bested by your sister recalled the importance of humility. I have a mission for you. You will go to a Kree outpost on the planet of Phalion. There you will find General Tarval. He has come into possession of something I require, a device. Gamora, you will fetch the device for me. You, Nebula, you will kill the General.
thank you, Father. I promise you, I will succeed.
I know you will, daughter. Gamora, you were always my favorite, but you have become cold,
I guess we get
distant,
a little bit of
forcing me to
Thanos
look
here
to
in a
Nebula
flashback.
to tighten the slack, whether I believe she's capable or not.
We will not disappoint you, Father.
But you already have, Gamora. Otherwise, you would not be taking Nebula with you. Go and prepare. You will head out immediately. And Gamora, I know you no longer care, but if you fail, your sister will pay for your missteps. Tell Nebula I wish to speak with her.
Is everything all right? What's going on?
So
I couldn't hear you, but
you're in a
Father,
weird...
He didn't look happy.
Thanos wants to talk to you.
To me?
Yeah, it's weird to play as a character set so far in the past when you know that she would have been in a completely different mentality. And even in the writing in here, you are still being allowed to feel like Gamora would think and act the way she acts in the present. Which is not something I really believe would be the case, because I feel like Peter Quill's influence would have heavily convinced Gamora to go good.
My chance to prove myself.
Maybe the story didn't really work that way, but I'm not a big enough Guardians of the Galaxy fan to really know how it did go down. And
no.
Even the movies
I've got to do this myself. It's what I've been training
pretty
for.
much don't
I won't let Father down.
fully explain the backstory or show the backstory enough in full detail.
Let's just do this.
So the surprise I would assume here is that this is actually a case where Thanos has told Nebula to kill Gamora. Probably at the end of the collecting of the device, and this Kree bridge is just the exact same bridge they used in the first episode. It might even be the exact same ship. But yeah, we are stealing the de-encryption module, which translates the ancient Kree on the Eternity Forge, which is to say even the Kree can't read the symbols on the Eternity Forge when they show up. Although it doesn't seem like the symbols are actually a code. They didn't say it was a code, they just said it was in an ancient version of the language. And I'm not sure the game really cares that there's a difference there. So,
Nebula!
let Nebula fail would be the right solution, but video game logic here tells me to not to pull the trigger. And video game logic here is going to force me to pull the trigger. So it sets you back a few QuickTime events.
Nebula!
And yeah, pretty obviously Thanos wanted Nebula to kill him, at the very least. That's what he said out loud. And now he's going to turn Nebula into a cyborg, which she doesn't seem like she is on.
Why did you do that?
What?
I had him. That was my kill and you took it from me. Father will be so upset with me.
I won't tell Thanos, I promise. We'll keep it to ourselves.
Father. Give me the device.
Nebula, what are you doing?
You took my kill. Give me the device in exchange. Give it to me, now!
Why would I care?
I'm not asking here. Do it!
Why would I care whatsoever? Just give it to her.
Here.
What do I care? Thanos wants it, not Gamora.
Hey, it's going to be fine. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, little tip there. If somebody under you is talking directly to your evil Thanos-like leader, he's telling them to kill you and replace you. And almost certainly Gamora would have seen that kind of treachery being very commonplace in the ranks of Thanos' army.
Oh, crap.
You slapped me.
Slap fight.
You tried to stab me, so maybe we're even.
Perhaps. I don't know what happened.
I really hate the save
One minute
file
you and I
in
were
the
walking
middle
into
of the
temple,
screen on the
and
right.
next
Yeah,
it was...
I know.
It would make
Wait,
a lot more
were
sense
you- Did you
if it
see
was
all
in
that?
the lower right hand corner like
memory?
most save
You
file
okay?
icons. Although that's
been
something that the
trying not to
next
think of that
generation of
day,
games really should get rid
Because
of completely.
I really want to fix things with Nebula.
Particularly on
Seeing
consoles.
that-
It should be fairly easy to
She
have
thought I was
a
being
battery
selfish,
backup so
taking
you
away
couldn't
everything she
accidentally
worked so
pull the
hard to
plug
achieve.
while a game is saving,
That's
and it would just
why she
always
turned
save,
on
so
me.
you don't need the warning
And why
of
she'll never forget
don't
what I did.
turn off the computer.
I saw what happened. You were just
while
trying to
it's
protect
saving.
her. You can't blame yourself
Which-
for that.
That almost
I'm
never
not so
happens.
sure.
Inherently, if they just had a shadow
That
copy
last moment,
technology,
it
which,
became everything.
yeah, pretty much
All I
Windows
remembered
has
of
that,
her.
and any console should have that.
There were times
Then
we
you-
were
You would
happy,
only lose
despite
the most
Thanos.
recent save file
despite
if the power
everything.
went out while you were
We
making a
had
new
each
save,
other. Maybe
which would be probably just a
Maybe I
rollback
could
of a
have done
few
more.
minutes at most, in most games.
been more honest with how I was feeling. Stop just seeing her as someone I needed to protect.
You
Is
can't
the right response.
change the past, Gamora. She is who she is.
That's exactly it, Peter. Nebula is who she is because of me. That hatred, that coldness, her inability to trust anyone. She is Thanos' daughter. Who else could she be after I betrayed her? I failed her.
So it does kind of feel like
Listen, you are my friend.
each person
don't make
might
friends
try
with
to
failures,
change
okay?
their.
I don't think that's true.
Look, the point
They're
is,
gonna try to change
matter
their
what you did in
past,
the
and then
past,
it's gonna
I will
cause
always stand by you.
new chaos.
You're awesome. I'm proud to call you my friend.
That is so cheesy.
I know, but I think I've made my point. Now, come on.
Inherently, I would
Figure out
say
why the Forge brought us here before things get even more.
having 5 characters, it's just really hard to care about any individual character or
Weird.
group of characters. It's my attention is just being split.
My mom loved this song. She played that record non-stop.
Is this streamer safe music that's playing right now, or
Peter, wait. This place... It seems to be using our memories against us. We don't know what we'll find inside. Or why it's been drawing us here.
Yeah, well,
we
if
selected
anything goes wrong, you'll be
Drax
here to
to
protect me,
come
right?
on the expedition with us?
You're not saying anything, and it's super worrying.
I thought.
Gamora, seriously?
Well, no, maybe I left Gamora and Nebula on the ship at the other temple. And now that we're at this new temple, everybody's on the planet, or maybe it's just Nebula and Peter Quill. The running joke about him naming himself Star-Lord is that everybody says it's a ridiculous name and it's
Do you
childish.
recognize this place?
Yeah. This is where my mom... This is where I saw her last.
I wouldn't be surprised if that flashback is
I
the
don't
entirety
know what all this means,
of
Peter,
the story as far as
but I
Nebula
hope
and Gamora.
Somehow, you get your mom back.
It's just ridiculous to even believe that that's what's going to
Thanks
happen.
for understanding.
She's your family. Your real family.
And
I know how
noticeably,
much she means to you.
Gamora and Nebula not mentioning a mother at all. So you would think that they would have some mother connection, because certainly Thanos being the adopted father of Nebula and Gamora is in no way comparable to Star-Lord's mother. Awkward movements as they cover their ears. You would think perhaps their helmets would filter out noise. Or you might even put on the headphones. Okay, tap A to see what's inside. I got just another achievement for getting to this point. It's probably a little too much to have lines that feel like pews from a Earth church duplicated in this alien sarcophagus, pyramid, whatever you want to call it. Slightly glowing out, blacked out silhouette. So it's the bug character? I didn't know she was important.
So painful. Are you okay?
Yes. Now that you're here.
Not your mom, right?
Definitely not.
You came for me. After all these... Ooh, what are these? They're very shiny.
Hey, over here.
Peter Quill. You're really here. It's been centuries.
So apparently
No,
she's important.
Millennia. You were the first.
How do you know who I am?
Oh yeah, she
We have
worked
met.
for his father.
But I was not me. I am called Mantis.
Yep. Whoops, I'm not paying attention.
Nice reflexes.
Let me try that again. May I borrow that? You're gone. It will only be for a moment.
Alright, sure. Inherently, since I've seen that she works with him in the future, let's just give her the gun.
Yeah, sure.
What?
I have another one.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like,
Thank you.
You're welcome?
she was in a stasis
It is
chamber.
So wonderful to be free of
basically.
that tomb. No longer trapped in my own mind. Alone. You are truly the hero the legends foretold. So brave and handsome. Though perhaps not in the classical sense.
What?
Ha! You must have many questions for me.
Let's see.
Take
Why
your
were you in
time.
the box, I guess, is the question to ask.
Why were you locked in here?
I'll try and get some
So
backstory.
that you could find me.
Not very helpful.
Now,
I have been waiting
admittedly,
for you all this time.
I didn't actually watch all of the
moment you
movie
touched
that
the forge,
she showed up,
I knew you
in.
were the Celestial One, that you could free me.
but
So I reached out to you
Yeah.
the only way I could.
I think I have a
your
general
memories.
understanding of who she is.
The ones
that
most
I
vivid
really
to
shouldn't.
you. But you must
happen.
understand, I had no control over them. I was only trying to communicate. Yes, you should be proud of freeing me. I no longer have to stare into the infinite crushing darkness. It was so boring.
How could you possibly know how he feels?
I can show you, angry lady. Oh, no. Never mind. May I show you? Please, I mean no harm. Watch.
So she can
Peter Quill is
read the mind.
filled with pride over your friendship. It makes his body parts grow.
Excuse me?
Do it again! Do it again! Come on!
With great pleasure.
Oh, this isn't going to go well.
So apparently this kind of ability, let's think about the Guardians.
Oh my. You and your friends truly are special. No wonder you are the ones to hold the Eternity Forge. It is an honor to be among you. You see, I am an empath. I can read the emotions of others. It is my duty to help the Celestial One decide the fate of the Forge.
That could really come in handy. Oh, she's got to meet the rest of the group.
Yeah, introduce an emotionally charged being to a group who are emotionally sensitive. Who should we try on first?
Let's see. Well, Groot. Let's go with Groot.
I got just the one.
So this kind of makes me assume that we're going to run into Star-Lord's father.
I am Groot.
This tree man has profound love and affection for everyone in this room.
We just got yet
I
another
am
achievement.
Groot.
Like every
Oh.
time a scene changes.
Not everyone. Some of you he has mixed feelings about. He is pleased that someone can understand his true feelings.
Mantis is an empath, Groot. She can sense your emotions. She's
We're
also
back
the one
at the
who made us
bar.
relive our memories.
That was you? We went halfway across the galaxy, got chased by that psycho holla for a party trick?
It is my job to guide the Celestial One.
What the hell does that mean?
The Celestial One.
You messed with our minds. Why?
I am Groot.
She thinks I'm someone called the Celestial One. How about that?
Celestial what?
Why is there only one? Could that one also be me?
Oh, I can explain. Long ago.
Wait. Are you gonna spew some long mumbo-jumbo about where you come from and why I should care?
Yes. Is that a problem?
Remember Thanos? Going on like...
Skip the
"Now that I
backstory.
do
Wow.
this, I'm
So the
gonna
game is just
roll
kind
through
of
the
straight up
galaxy
let
like a
you
giant
skip the
turd,
backstory.
Blah, blah, blah.
When
The
totally
answer
it
is
should
magic.
make you.
It's always magic, and that is good enough for me.
Well, I, for one, want to hear it. All of it.
Then it's time for a nap.
Go ahead, Mantis. Enlighten us.
Of course, Peter Quill. I have communicated only through my feelings for years. It is nice to communicate with my mouth.
I suppose. Let's just let her talk. What? Why did the game switch into this mode? Feels like it may have even glitched there. Feels like she should be talking at this point.
Down? Did you really just tell me to calm down?
Because you just had to let everyone know you were alive and well. How do you think Thanos took that?
I don't believe that for a second.
You only know one side of the story.
This is literally the stupidest thing I've heard in a long time.
Is that what
What?
you think?
You want an apology?
You know that's
What is
not
going
true.
on? We're hearing.
You know what? I'm done with this.
What the heck is going on here? There's audio playing that doesn't seem in line. I'm in a mode. I don't think I'm supposed to be in it yet. I can't talk to anybody. I can't interact with anybody. Everybody else seems to be effectively just standing in a T pose. Although not technically in a T pose. Their arms aren't out. This is weird. And this obviously isn't right. So let's exit the game. Didn't mean to exit that much, but whatever. Relaunch the game and see if that fixes that. And maybe we'll choose a different choice on the dialogue option instead of just letting her talk. But yeah, I definitely think the game forcing you to hear the backstory makes sense. You can't make licensed products assuming people are just going to know what the backstory of characters are, particularly since there's just a high chance that they may rephrase or change what the backstory.
Man has profound love and affection for everyone in this room.
I am Groot.
Oh, not everyone. Some of you he has mixed feelings about. He is pleased that someone can understand his true feelings.
Mantis is an empath, Groot. She can sense your emotions. She's also the one who made us relive our memories.
That was you? We went halfway across the galaxy, got chased by that psycho holla for a party trick?
It is my job to guide the Celestial One.
What
It does
the hell
definitely
does
feel
that
like
mean?
we're gonna get through this scene.
You messed with our minds. Why?
I am Groot.
Try some different lines of dialogue
She
here since
knows
we have
about
that
the
opportunity.
Eternity Forge. She says she's connected to it.
That's supposed to make me less confused?
Oh, I can explain. Long ago...
Wait. Are you gonna spew some long mumbo-jumbo about where you come from and why I should care?
Yes. Is that a problem?
Remember Thanos? Going on like, now that I got this, I'm gonna roll through the galaxy like a giant turd and blah, blah, blah. The answer is magic. It's always magic, and that is good enough for me.
Her story might be important.
Well, I, for one, want to hear it. All of it.
Then it's time for a nap.
Go ahead, Mantis. Enlighten us.
Of course, Peter Quill. I have communicated only through my feelings for years. It is nice to communicate with my
The
mouth.
problem, though, with introducing Mantis is that she's still not a
Eons ago,
character.
The Eternity Forge coalesced into existence as a way to balance the life energy of the universe. To create, you must
See,
destroy.
she just
To
started
destroy,
talking.
You must create.
This time, she didn't start talking before.
Such colossal power cannot be wielded lightly. So I was brought in to ensure that the forge was only wielded by someone deserving, and to help guide the wielder down the right path. But I waited and waited. Years went by. Many unworthy tried to use the forge. Some even tried to force me to help them. The Kree decided that no culture had matured enough to use the forge with the wisdom required.
So it's just generally that they're all
Eventually,
too
the Forge
dumb
and
and
I
too
were
bored to pay
separated.
attention.
Locked away until
Even
a
though
time
the
when
player wants to know
civilization
this
could
information,
reach the
I want to
peak
know
of
this
wisdom and
information.
Maturity.
Right.
And that is only the beginning.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Pete.
So, yeah.
What an interesting and relevant story. Aren't you glad we heard it all, champ?
Someday, Quill, I'm gonna blast you out an airlock.
I have not yet gotten to the most important part.
The weird thing here, though, is
There
if
is
you
a
introduce
legend of the
Mantis as
Celestial One,
a saccharine sweet,
chosen one who shall
nice
arrive
character,
from the stars to use
she's
the
not
Eternity
really going to
Forge.
balance
This
out
celestial one.
the
What are they like?
Advanced
other 5
intellect,
characters who are
emotionally mature,
more hard-edged.
wise being capable of navigating the dark waters of immense power. Someone who can see beyond his own selfish desires to choose for the greater good.
I don't think any of
That
those
certainly ain't
responses.
Quill. I seen him lose his gun in the toilet. Twice. In the same day.
That was such a horrific mess.
Don't remind me.
The Celestial One is not perfect, but it is Peter.
Oh, you're so full of crap, lady. If Pete is this celestial what's-it, then why didn't the stupid forge work? Sure, it brought him back, but when we tried to use it again on someone else, it didn't do a damn thing.
Your loss. I can feel it has been with you for some time. The forge is limited right now. It can only restore life to a body that is mostly whole and undeteriorated.
Okay, so we now understand.
You said right now. Now, does that mean that things might be different later?
Yes, you can change everything.
How?
The Celestial One must deliver the forge to the sacred shrine. There you can unlock its true power, or destroy it forever.
And that true power is what?
So it seems like
Turning anyone
Hala
from any time period back to the realm
may
of the living.
be
Lost ones, loved
needing
ones,
him.
I suppose hated ones too, if you were so inclined, though I do not know why. That seems ill-advised, but it is Peter's decision to make.
Why would I destroy the forge? This thing sounds awesome.
Hala!
Its awesomeness comes with a price. Life energy cannot be made. It must be transferred.
So someone still has to die for the thing to work.
Then let's finish our drinks and go use this thing.
Yes!
Really? Who are you planning to kill?
Well, you're kind of annoying me right now.
Hala wants to use this forge to raise her army. We have to destroy
Not
it.
until my family is returned to me.
Groot.
Right? Groot
I
says
think
he's on
Groot
my side. That's 3
is
to
the
1,
last
Gamora. We
citizen
win.
of
That is
Planet
not
X.
true. Groot feels the opposite.
I mean, maybe something got lost in translation. Hey, you try understanding I am Groot all the time. Those 3 words can mean anything.
You mistranslated Groot. On purpose. How long have you been doing this?
I just slipped up. This was a one-time thing.
I am Groot?
Okay, a 2-time thing.
So, it is a tie then.
2 for using it.
I am Groot.
I'm gonna take a guess. He said 2 for destroying it.
Don't you get what this means? We can bring back anyone that we
But clearly,
lost.
I'm gonna say
At a cost.
destroy
No
it.
cost is too high.
Well, right now, I'm thinking we destroy it. Hala can't get her hands on this again. If she does, we're gonna all be speaking Kree.
Or dead.
It's ridiculous that you have
Well, one
Nebula
way or
in the
another,
room
this
while
all
having
ends
this
at the
conversation.
shrine.
That's a big
Can you take us
mistake.
there, Mantis?
I have never been, but with your help, I believe I can sense its location. May we have some space to concentrate?
Gladly. If anyone needs me, I'll be emotionally unavailable.
And that's new.
Ha ha ha.
My guess is that just mimic her, I guess.
What are you doing?
Helping?
Maybe it is best if you sit still.
Right, of course.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's tricking
Cannot
him
sense the shrine.
and
There
she's
is
bringing back
So much
his
unrest among your crew.
father.
Their emotions are overwhelming me. They look to you for guidance.
It
Help
would
them.
be an interesting twist, certainly, if she turns out to be a bad guy. So, It's interesting how the default in the crash just took us to this sequence, but nobody was in place, and thus there was nobody to interact with.
Calm down, because you just had to let everyone know you were alive and well.
Now the lines of dialogue make a lot more
I don't believe
sense.
that for a second.
That's the problem. You only know one side of the story.
This is literally
Drax,
the safest thing.
theoretically, I'd almost let
Want an
him
apology?
kill himself to bring back his family, but he probably wouldn't do that, and he probably could only bring back either his wife or his daughter. So theoretically, I guess if he sacrificed himself for his daughter, that would be fine. Fine with me. Any parent generally would want to sacrifice themselves for their child, whereas Rocket would potentially have to sacrifice himself to bring back Lila, which wouldn't make her very happy, and I'm not sure Drax's daughter would be very happy in that trade. And then Groot potentially has to sacrifice himself to bring back, I guess, his mother seed, his mother tree, that from Planet X would be my guess. And I don't even know if that's really the backstory for Groot. It wasn't really in the codex in the ship, so yeah. And as soon as we wanted some backstory, the game really didn't bother to give us much.
Drax, how are you doing?
I am distraught. The Forge can bring my family back, yet you consider destroying it.
Well,
You are our leader, and it is your decision. So I must trust you would not take away my chance to reunite with my wife and daughter. Even though you did not trust me to guard Nebula.
Well, that...
And you did not behave in a trustworthy manner just now.
Huh?
You used that antenna woman's powers without permission. It was wrong of you to do that. Even if the tree did not mind.
Come on, it wasn't that bad. Was it?
Our feelings are our own. They belong to us alone.
I guess good thing.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. Bad taste on my part.
I am glad you are so apologetic. Though I do not understand how your mistake could taste badly. Her ability to see into our emotions. It must be difficult. I would not wish to know the pain of others as well as my own. Thank you for checking in on me, Peter. You may leave now.
It's probably the most in-depth conversation I've had with Drax so far in the game. Certainly you could think just call Nova Corps and send over some death row prisoners and execute them to use for the Eternity Forge, but that does then just set the precedent that Nova Corps would keep the Eternity Forge and use it for its own means. It is just too powerful of a device. We'll talk to Groot, which will obviously end up meaning nothing.
Hey there, Groot. Oh. Is that a friend of yours?
I am Groot.
I'll tell you this. We're all gonna be okay. No matter what happens with the Forge.
I am Groot.
And see, if you see Groot with the sapling, that might mean he's about to die and be replaced with a younger version of himself. A clone.
Hey, bud, what's up?
Well, if it ain't Captain Indecision.
What are you...
I don't know what's holding you back from doing the right thing here, Quill. I mean, I can count on one paw how many folks ever get a chance to bring back someone they love.
I am Groot.
Let's see.
I'm not gonna kill someone to use this thing. End of story.
You already did. We killed Thanos, remember? And it saved you. You know, come to think of it, I wish the Forge had never brought you back. Yeah.
I am Groot.
It should have brought someone else. Anyone else back instead. Better than your worthless hide.
You don't mean that, Rocket.
Now you're telling me what I don't mean. Man the ego. I mean. I meant every damn word.
I am Groot.
Have a nice night.
Rocket coming off perhaps too much of a jerk
Well, that's
compared to the others.
one way to clear his emotional unrest.
I am Groot.
Another great example, though, of just how the I am Groot gag works only really in the comic book and doesn't work in
Fine.
any other form of medium.
Fine.
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 Guess we don't get a
Hey,
choice
are
to
you
talk
okay?
to Nebula alone.
The hell was that?
I tried to say everything I could think of. I thought maybe if I asked her to stick around for a while. Ugh. She won't hear it. Not from me. She'll barely even look at me.
Yeah, well, I guess we
Don't give
see
up on
this.
her. Family is always worth it.
I know, I'm really trying. But I just can't find the right words with her.
You don't really need
Maybe-
Nebula
Maybe
to
if
stick
we had more
around.
time, I could try talking to her again when she's calmed down. Give her some space without losing her altogether.
I'm just
Well,
really
they
picking
say time
platitudes
heals all
at this
wounds.
point.
Who's they?
I have no idea.
Maybe I can get her to hang around. Just
Keeping her around
maybe
is
not
not
right
the
now.
right move.
think she needs some alone time.
You know, it's an interesting proposal, and certainly that's a different side of the coin. If we gave the Eternity Forge to Nova Corps, and they had Thanos' body, maybe they could bring him back and see him face trial, keep him imprisoned. Like, maybe that would do more good than just having him dead. Generally, government organizations love to kill the leaders of other of your enemies because that's quick and easy, but as far as actual history in the real world, we will never really know what would have happened had we captured Hitler or had somebody captured Hitler and kept him in prison for a long time. And generally, in the few cases in which some leader has been captured and thrown in prison, they tend to either get out of prison or grow more support. So, yeah, I've never really seen it work quite that way, because there is a certain charisma, certainly, that any leader of a strong enough force would have, and that charisma doesn't go away. Sure, you can say serial killers like Charlie Manson or who was thrown in jail, or they didn't really grow major followings from prison, but they didn't really have major followings before they were captured and thrown in prison either. So keeping them dead probably is the simplistic, smart move. It's interesting here that my mouse cursor can be way over here, and we're walking back and forth in this pattern. Seems like it doesn't really matter.
Hey, Nebula. Yeah, hey, it's me, Peter Quill, but, yeah, but you know that. You mind if I sit? Cool, yeah, this is really...
She got her arm back
How's
on.
the arm?
It's not bad. Would have come in handy to have both arms while fighting off the Kree. I suppose I'm lucky you let me out at all. So, thanks, I guess.
Let's go with this one.
Oh, man, you were awesome. And you only had one arm.
Well, yeah. Nice to know someone appreciates my skills. Gamora never could. Speaking of my dear sister, bet you got an earful. What'd she say about me? That I'm a waste of space. That I deserve everything I've been through.
They're very much coming
Gamora
from
says
different
she still
perspectives.
cares about you.
She sure has a funny way of showing it. Gamora doesn't even realize that she's the reason our family ended.
Yeah, but that's not how it looked to me.
What do you mean?
When we were in the temple, I saw Gamora's memory of your last mission.
Oh, yeah? What did you see?
I saw a pretty messed up family.
Well, for one, you've got a pretty screwed up definition of family. Two sisters being forced to fight each other and kill people, that doesn't sound like a family to me.
It was to me. You have no idea what really happened that day. And neither does Gamora. Not all of
So
it,
here
at
we get
least.
the reveal.
Then show me.
That's funny, she's just gonna walk away from the table with the Eternity Forge on it, and Peter Quill walked away
Please take my
from
hand.
the table.
If this kills me, I'm going to kick your ass.
So, right mouse cursor to grab the hand of Mantis. And we're back to flashbacks. And we'll pause there. That's as good of a point as possible, but I'm already a step ahead as far as what's going to be revealed. It will just, I suppose, come down to the phrasing. Did Thanos tell Nebula to kill Gamora if she didn't let Gamora kill the general? Or did he tell her just to kill Gamora in general because of her no longer worshipping him like she used to? That's really all it's going to boil down to. It'd be very shocking if it turns out Thanos didn't tell Nebula to kill Gamora. Yep. So, another hour with very little dialogue choices of any real substance. There's no action behind most of the dialogue choices in Telltale games, and it's very obvious in this case. But then when we do get to the action sequences with the QuickTime events, there's way too many QuickTime events. It is just a very awkward mix in general, and the point and click sections where you can walk around are practically not worth mentioning, because unlike a real point and click adventure game, there's not objects to pick up, there's not puzzles to solve, you're not going from one scene to another scene, you're not talking to secondary characters. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, there's some links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.